Hello and welcome to Laying Out Your Zorn Palette. My name is Todd Carignan. I'll be your host through this. So first, who is Anders Zorn? Anders Zorn is a portrait painter from Sweden in the late 1800s, early 1900s, who has been known for this specific palette where he's only using three colors: a red, yellow ochre, ivory black, and white. But you can see exactly what he can do with this. This is mostly red. Browns come from an orange, which would be the red and yellow, mixed with some gray. Some of this looks a little bit greenish, which would be the yellow ochre with some gray. Here's a self-portrait, and the one everybody references, because here you can see he's got his palette in his hand, which has some black that's back here in the back of the shadows, red, yellow, and white. Okay, I picked this one because even though the Zorn palette is just those 4 tubes of paint, that does not mean that he didn't use a little bit of blue if he needed to. This one, I don't know, must be a little bit of blue in the suit here, but for the most part, reds and yellows and grays for skin tones. Red, a lot of red here, some yellow highlights. Mostly reds and yellows, maybe a little bit of green or blue for in the jewelry here. Another self-portrait, again, mostly red, a lot of yellows and grays back here. Maybe a little bit of green or blue and yellow for the tie there. Anyway, so these colors work because he is working inside. These are all interiors. So he doesn't need a lot of colors. Interiors tend to be warm. If there is any outside light coming from, say, a window, then that light will be gray for the most part. In real life it might be blue, but when you're dealing with reds and yellows and oranges, then that gray is going to automatically look cool, meaning that it's going to look like it's going to be in the blue side of things. So this is how I would like you to lay out your palette. So this is a 12 by 16 white paper disposable palette. Whatever you work on is fine. If you want a bigger palette, then you have more room to spread out, then by all means. I would recommend you try to stay as organized as you can in the beginning, because it can get to be a little bit much as the further along that we go. So I am laying this out by value. So white being a 1, black being a 5. So white, light gray, medium gray, dark gray. I've already gone ahead and started the pile of, this is just black and white together itself. So the thing that you will want to do is take these, and so what I've done here too is I've done grays. My reds will be here and my yellows will be here. The empty ones in between, like between the red and the gray, I'll do a mixture here that'll lean a little bit purple. Between the reds and the yellows here, that'll be more orange. And then the yellow and the gray over here will be more of a greenish color. So the idea here is to make these steps. So what I'll do is I will hold this over top and squint, and if it goes, if the edges get fuzzy, then I know that I'm on the right track. Like here you can see that the edges are very hard, so it's not anywhere near that value, but the closer to the value that it is, and when you squint, then it will start to be, it'll all kind of blend together. Make sure that you mix big enough piles of paint. Maybe this didn't need any white in it at all. That's pretty close as is. Well, that red by itself is pretty close to a medium. I have a little bit of white in there, but I think that'll be okay. Let's go ahead and clean this off. So remember, when you're cleaning your palette knife, clean it this way, pinch it along that way, but also pinch along the sides as well. And that'll, I don't know if you can see, but there's some like little red streaks that was just built up on the very edge. So make sure that you clean it up really good. Red. Just a little bit of black. A little bit of black goes a long way. Again, you want this to be, ooh, that's pretty close there. Good. You just want 3 nice steps. Light, medium, dark. Light, medium, dark. Start out with white. Oops. A little bit of red in there. A little bit at a time. Let's see. That is pretty close. I think that's pretty much pure right there. Yeah, when I squint, it's pretty much going into that, so I think we're good. That. And whichever yellow ochre. Different brands are different for all of these. Oops. So this is near white, medium, near black, and black, right? Okay. Ooh, I guess I should talk about these colors a little bit. Okay, so this red, I'm using a bright red from Winsor & Newton. I've used like a cad red medium. I've also used a cad red light and mixed it with permanent rose. All you want is something that's not fire engine red. I mean, this is a warm red, but it's not as red as fire engine red. That way you can get some nice purples out of this as well. But yeah, let's see. And then the yellow ochre. I've actually heard people say that they think that the yellow that he used was more of a golden ochre. That's fine too. That would give you a little bit more vibrant yellow, but I don't know if it really matters in the end. Of course, ivory black and titanium white. So, but really, even though this is the Zorn palette, you can use any red, any yellow, white and black that I've found. I've done it with a whole bunch of other different colors, you know, because everybody's skin is basically a form of orange, which is red and yellow. Now it depends on, everybody's pigment leans a certain way. It could be more grayer, more brown, more pink, even more violet. Like everybody's a little bit different. So let's start doing some in-between colors here. Like these 3 rows are the ones that I'm mostly concerned with if you are taking my class. But if you want to probably a little bit more red than I wanted in there. But mix up enough piles of paint that you can actually do these in-between ones. I'm just kind of doing a half and half, or actually probably a little less red, more gray would be better. Okay. That already looks very fleshy right there, right? We're in the yellow. Yep. Awesome. And then finally, let's grab some of this and a little bit of the gray. This, a bit of the gray. All right. So when you're done here, you should have your white is just the white, light gray, or light versions of all the colors, medium, dark. But whenever you are mixing any of them in within here, then the value should always be the same. Each strip of here should always have the same value, same value, same value, same value, okay? All right. And then just because it might be a little confusing, maybe I will, okay, so this is gray and red. This is red and ochre. And this is ochre and gray. Okay. So this gives us something that's kind of purpley, orangey, and kind of green. Okay. I mean, none of these are going to be, that's not going to be like a bright green, and that's definitely not going to be a bright purple. Actually, there's probably too much red in that one. But anyway, okay. So when you come to class, I will expect you to have something that looks kind of like this, because it's best to come in organized. It took me 15-20 minutes to put this all together. That's time that you can be spent painting. So please have this done, okay? And I will see you.